Welcome everyone to tonight's meeting of the Mineral Planning Commission, January 25th. For the record, as far as roll call, I believe everyone is here other than Ron is absent. We also have and our clerk and Ms. Lee, our town attorney, present. Pledge of Allegiance would all stand with me and pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody coming out in this terrible cold weather. Quite a break, quite a change. Welcome, thing for me anyway. So the option of the agenda is the next thing, but I am going to take the liberty to first do the public comment and then do the agenda. So we've made it a habit of doing a public comment session in the planning commission since I've been with the planning commission, and we like to just have it general and 3 minutes. And Debbie, you signed up first.
I did.
Come forward.
Thank you.
Well,
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Debbie Moon, and I own 232 Mineral Ave, which is the building next door, the big plywood building. I received an email earlier this month from Mayor Jarvis, who was acting as the town manager. And the email stated that the signs on my building were not in compliance. I replied to his email requesting clarification on multiple points, and he suggested that I come speak with you. Before putting up even the first sign, I reviewed the Code of Virginia and the Code of the town. And to the best of my knowledge, I am in compliance. The signs are securely attached to real property. They're doing business with me. One sign for each street upon which the lot abuts, not adjacent to an interstate system, does not move, scroll, flash, or light red or green, no flashing lights, and it's not on the main road, Mineral Ave. Because I would have liked to have put one there for the people coming out of the bank, right? With no disrespect to my fellow businesses in the area, I took photos and there's signs everywhere. So I didn't even think that there would be an issue. I'm working hard to revitalize the building. I have spoken with 3 contractors. It does need to come down. There's no foundation. It's got a dirt floor. It's sitting on cinder blocks. It's amazing it still stands. So in order to earn some money, I guess, to help build, that's why my signs are on the side of the building. I don't take advertising dollars at all. That's not what I want to do. I've been approached by different businesses and I don't want to turn it into a billboard or make it look worse than it already does. So the signs that are there, I use the same printer. They're high quality. They cost me about $200 a piece. And I'm hoping to bring in more advertising going forward. So I guess my question is, why do they need to come down? And may I have a waiver to leave them up for a little while longer to try to at least get the money back that I spent putting the signs up?
okay, so in public comment,
I
the
understand.
general rule is we don't engage
Back and
in the
forth.
discussion back and forth during that. The planning commission, just like the council, can put it on the agenda
Please.
if they desire to, and that's what I wrote back to you when you asked. So we don't have any public hearings tonight. We don't have a lengthy agenda or anything. So I'm not adverse to going ahead and putting it on tonight versus waiting for the next meeting or something, which is frequently what happens when those things come up.
Although if the answer is no, I don't mind waiting another 4 weeks.
I don't know. We're getting into the comprehensive plan, it'll be far more bulky, probably for a few
Sure.
months after we get past this. So I'd entertain a motion as far as putting this on the agenda, but I'll go into explanations and everything as to, you know, what
That's fine.
responsibilities are of the planning commission and so forth when we get to that point. If someone would like to suggest that we move it to the agenda, I would say let's move it to the part that's after the we're not going to spend an enormous amount of time there. Let's just go ahead and do it after the approval of the minutes and get it done before discussion. Would somebody like to make that motion to add this to our agenda tonight?
I make that motion to add the item brought forth to the agenda tonight.
Here we go, second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Williams made the motion, and who was it, the second over here? I heard
Lauren.
Lauren made the second to it. All in favor of the movement of that item and to discuss it after the approval of the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Done. Second item, public comment. Chris.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, my name is Chris Gear. I live at 80 St. Cecilia Mineral Avenue, my family. I just want to thank you all for doing this for the citizens, for everyone here. Thanks for Ed's leadership. Ed and I have interacted a lot over the last few years, just with me as a citizen, even with my representative who's on council, and you're in great hands. I mean, Ed's name is on so many significant buildings here in our area.
Use your time.
So I appreciate all that you're doing. I've made similar comments to the town council, just about my interest as a citizen. Hoping that your proceedings and your procedures and what you do are at a baseline minimum gonna comply with requirements under the state law. So the state law requires the town to have a planning commission, although it could be a joint commission with the county or another municipality. But so the state law says that we have to have planning commission. So thanks for being here. And then from there are several other things that the planning commission must do, not optional, mandatory. And then there's a lot of discretionary mandatory things that you guys can do. So I just have a list of some of those things here, right from the state code. And one general way to look at what's absolutely required and what's optional is whether the wording is that you all shall do something. That means you must, or whether you may. So there are a few things on here under the duties of commissions, the state law, that I'm sure Ed is entirely aware of and has his management of this commission, ready to go and get up to speed on a lot of these things. But there are a few on here that have not yet been completed by the commission. I know the town has struggled to even have a planning commission in the past. So, we absolutely acknowledge that some of these things you have done, but there may be a few on here that say you shall do them and would only aid you and the town and the citizens. There's one other, there's lots of information under planning and zoning. It's complex and a significant responsibility for you all. I'm not going to give you everything that code says about our local planning commission, but here's another one, just talks about what you shall.
Thank you, Chris. I will tell you that was kind of a discussion about the Mills Market thing recently. And we need to go to the council. The use of shall and may or should does need to be more careful administrative.
Yeah. And the only other
Create or that we adopt.
The only other minor comment is, and you all may know, you probably know, especially, I don't know where the microphones are positioned in this room, but when viewing the videos online, there's a lot of portions of the meeting that cut out, and it's, I don't know, it's like maybe from here over is okay, but like you two, like. On this side of the room, a lot of times it doesn't pick up in recording and back here, it's hard to follow what had happened. So
All done. Cameras.
whatever.
And the microphones might be able to be enhanced in some way. You're the one that should be able to tell us whether that needs to.
Yeah, we've brought that to our tech person's attention before, and he said it's the best that he can get it to be. You just have to speak more loudly and clearly, and these are the microphones that are laying across the table. Right, that's really, or if someone talks very lightly, then you can't hear it either.
Thank you.
To the approval of the agenda, then we'll get to the minutes and I'll come back. The agenda, I want to add two items that have been provided to you like the day after the package. Documents from the plan right for Thomas Jefferson Planning District Commission. His first name is Curtis, and for my sake of being able to pronounce it, I'm just going to say Curtis S. So he sent us something on the comp plan state code compliance audit. We'll go over that as item 3A under whole business. Because I was already going to be talking in that about as this with the planning district. And B, gave us something on the population and growth projections from the census. So that'll be item B under 3. It is a continuation of talking about. We just added some moving for discussion under the next item after we go over the minutes. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda as revised? Okay, I got it. Motion carried from Washington to approve the revised agenda. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second, Ms. Bullock. Discussion? No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm sorry, could you repeat what 3A is gonna be under?
3A, it is comprehensive plan. State code compliance audit,
Got it, thank you.
and you'll have that in your package. Look at it. The second one again, the population. All right, so we got the agenda revised approval of minutes. So you have the minutes in your package. I hope you have a chance to review them. And if anyone have changes to or comments regarding that.
Jolyn mentioned that we're gonna fix your name, right?
Yes. My name on.
Okay.
Even though I'm a joy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Is that like that throughout it or? But we'll get that correction. Maybe anything else? I do have one item. If no one else has it. Okay. I would like on page 2. Or. B in the box 2. Beside it. Well, it has to do with middle market conditional use for that. I just want that to be included in the minutes and I want the minutes to say that it's there. So anybody looking for it, will find it. We acted upon it and the document was provided to you. It looks like this. It was the original that was presented by the mayor to the council at our last meeting and revised to the things that we changed. So, Amanda, if you would just
Yeah,
make note to put in the minutes that the conditional use revised is attached to the minutes.
okay, gotcha.
Hearing nothing else, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as?
We approved them.
All right, Ms. Ball, motion for the minutes as revised to be approved, second.
A second.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. If further comments? No, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes 5-0. We're on a roll. Okay, Ms. Moon, come on back up if you will. So, yes, Ms. Moon. As I understand, because I've got correspondence on, I don't know if y'all got correspondence or not. But Ed Jarvis, the mayor / town manager, room, email to this meeting. And in that, he was questioning one of the 4 or 5 signs that are on the side of the building. I believe that he was questioning primarily, I read it. Access one of them, the brewing company, or mineral brewing company, isn't your own business, and it's so without getting in. It's not, I don't think it's our place as a planning commission. We're not the default for the council. We're advisory. We advise the council about stuff, but we don't make decisions as to what they are doing or not doing. And certainly, he's acting as zoning administrator. So I don't think that us debating it or, that's not going to accomplish anything. But I do want to tell you that we're looking at the sign ordinance and as a part of the comprehensive plan. And we hope to make changes to it. And that will be publicized. The public will be invited into a workshop session, probably the February one, to discuss what we get from PJPDC. We've already given them insight about some things we want them to look at to do. And they are preparing something for us to start working from for the 2024 update. So, in essence, the planning commission may come up with rules and regulations and codes, but they only have advisory capability. They send to council creates them. If it truly were a citation, I don't think it was. I think it's probably the way that I read it, or a notification or a warning or a question, what's going on. So if that be the case, if it were a true violation that he was advising you of and saying that I find that it's in violation, I would say that your recourse would be to the Board of Zoning Appeals, not to the Planning Commission. But if you want to tell us anything more about it as far as what you hope will be accomplished, he's not here to hear it, but I understand you're going to the council as well.
I wasn't. He actually told me to come to you.
Oh, he did. Okay.
He advised me to speak with the planning commission
I
about
knew
it.
he sent you here, but I thought it was because he was gone for a week, and we
That's
were
all right.
meeting, and their meeting was postponed.
So the Mineral Brewing banner, she actually gave me my start. That was where I held my first auction, estate sales, and got the real estate going.
Yeah.
I asked her if she wanted to put up a banner because I love the train
Right.
and the word mineral, which I think is the town. So I thought, what a better place to advertise her business and make the side of the building look a little nicer.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily, I didn't do it. I'm heartbroken that she paid the money to have the banner made when it might have to come down, when I think it looks nice. So it's, I guess it's a decision for another time.
Yeah.
In regards to business, we're toying right now with turning the building into a saloon.
Oh, yeah.
And then she would be, part of the business that's in there. So I don't know if that has any bearing on leaving the banner up. But
If we were deciding the entity, I would say there would be more reason for us to spend more time working.
Sure.
with you and to make a determination what can be done. But like I say, I would suggest getting back in touch with Ed and verifying with him. This is just me talking, not something the planning commission is acting upon. But find out from him as he was doing that, as mayor, zoning administrator, whatever. Half it may be of several that he's got. And go from there, but follow us as we proceed along with trying to be more definitive about the zoning ordinance, and particularly the sign part. The sign part is extremely vague.
Yeah,
So that's how interpretation.
well, in my opinion, I didn't spray paint the side of the building and it doesn't have flashing lights, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do appreciate your time.
Sure.
Now, something you said earlier in regards to making a recommendation to the council. Is that something?
We make recommendations, just like the plan is supposed to be doing a capital improvements plan. If the council wanted us to review your zoning code, some do,
Understood.
planning commissions do, then those are we're not the authority. We hold public hearings and we get input, and really, when I was on council, but it was the planning commission's purpose is to be a sounding board so that the council can help know what's important out there and how people feel about
Instead of sifting through the weeds, I
it.
understood.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your time.
Just a quick question.
Sorry.
Just, yeah, no, worries. Is there any kind of business being conducted in the building at present?
No,
Is there any, okay, because.
I can't get a building.
There was something in there.
Shop.
Yeah, there was-
I wouldn't be able to get it.
There's no CO right now, right?
There's electricity, but it's not on.
Right.
I'm afraid to be in there. So no, I wouldn't be able to bring the public in.
I think probably did it before. I mean, that it was a while.
Own risk. Well, the way I look at it, it's from the late 1800s.
Yeah.
So it's well over, 100 years old.
Right.
It's withstood an earthquake. Right? And
And
trains going by, but I'm afraid if a butterfly lands on the roof, it's just gonna come down, so. I'm hoping for we'll get there. There's great wood inside. Somebody put a roof and siding over all the original 1800s wood.
So is there an opportunity to get some type of a, repurposed show to come in and maybe put some money in? I mean, there's all kinds of, they're looking for projects like that.
Yes.
It would be a great place to actually do, a building like that, to kind of come in and film the whole restructure, and if it's gonna fill in. Holy moly, you're talking about, advertising.
Isn't that fun?
And everything,
Yeah.
there's something different.
Mhm.
But that might be a really great project for someone that has money that want to advertise a home, because it's so much
Mhm.
going on TV projects, something unique.
I'll keep reaching out. I've sent to various, I've also tried to sell the wood that's inside, and everybody's got their own stipulations, nail free and bundles or.
So is there any plans that you can maybe send me that I can actually maybe try to help to get somebody's attention to actually come and check out it being a project of some sort?
I don't know, well, yes, are the plans? No, there's my photos. I don't know,
Maybe even some type of a history,
I'll send you a history lesson, yeah.
Just kind of maybe it's something that will speak.
Mhm. It spoke to me.
Yeah, absolutely,
And I
absolutely.
had the folks from down the street come in, check for, little sightings or spirits, I guess, and there were things that I couldn't explain. So, yeah, my understanding is the building, sorry to take up your time, the building in the back was a stable. And the miners would come in by train, grab their horse and go to the mine. And at the end of the week, they would return their horse and get on the train and go home. And that's where the horses were kept. And then in the front, it was not originally, but very early, a silent movie theater. And somebody played the piano ragtime during the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we like to encourage the renovation or restoration or replacement of if necessary, like you're saying, it's probably.
I hate making destroyed.
I know, me too, but what I'd like to, the reason for the saloon and I'm going on is I would love to take all that old wood and put it on the walls and the ceiling inside the saloon. And it's a great look. So thank you.
Another EMP.
Thank you, Debbie.
So moving on to business. Find the comp plan MOU schedule status. Yes, we were able to adopt things that we were going to send to the planning district at our November meeting. And then December, we got to call that off and take it off. So here we are back. I was hoping that the planning district would have their something of a plan to look at. But they weren't able to get to it to a point to where they have something to submit to us. However, after I made the agenda and we first put it together, two things that are, okay, we're going to talk about those in a minute. But along the lines of my discussion with Curtis, that the MOU was signed. It was a month later than when it was originally written to go into effect. He didn't think that though it was lost a month, that he couldn't, planning district would still be able to get it all done by the end of June, which is what the MOU would all for it to be done. So we'll be a part of a discussion with them first week of February as to where they are. He expects to be ready then to come to our February meeting. We'll discuss at that meeting the first week of February just what our February should be, whether that might be the public work session to invite people here, or if we want to meet first and then set a public hearing after. You read the MOU, it was right there. It calls for there to be 3 workshop sessions, and it calls for there to be 2 public hearings. You have to have 1 public hearing by the planning commission and a separate one by the town council. I take that back. You don't have to. They can have joint public hearings, but that's not a favorite thing. And I would prefer that all public hearings be separate to allow planning commission to do its part, advise and let council then meet and hold their own separate one. And they agreed with that. So the other comment that I got from council people were that, particularly the mayor, that he would like and would agree that we need to have a public input work session, and he would like that to be the first one that's held so that they can come in with us. We will do that probably as a joint work session because planning district will be presenting, the public will be invited to participate, and they need to hear it as well as we need to hear it. Then we'll proceed, get our act together in a meeting or 2, and then end up having a public hearing, adopt it and send it to them. And hopefully, again, by the end of June, it gets done. Cost us some money, $16,000. But if you look at these 2 things they've sent, you can readily see, at least I do, that there's a lot of effort that goes into this if you do the right thing. And laws have changed. Who would know that? They do, because that's their job. So I think that we'll have a far more reaching document to work on, and I think that we'll be giving it the chance to address some items that have been taken for granted or not addressed previously.
What's the plan for engaging the community, getting as many people involved with this before it actually happens?
That's what I asked, and they said, we're working on that, and we'll go over it and discuss it when I get with them that first week of February. But I'll let you know before. There's going to be something going on at our next meeting. I just don't know exactly what it's going to be. But that meeting will be the beginning of us, truly working hard and getting this going. Y'all have any questions about that part? That's the MOU. You saw it. The town council approved it. The schedule status, I don't think that was put in here, but you'd seen it before. It was provided to you. And really all we're talking about is determining dates and times for the different aspects of the workshop sessions and in the public hearings.
And a lot of that can probably be done via email between
a significant amount of meeting so that we go into kind of prepared.
Mhm. All right, any other comments or questions?
If we could, when that happens,
Mhm.
involve the state, invite them at least to come in and be a part of that, so that would just kind of say, hey, minerals. Or, you know.
Who with the state area?
I think like maybe someone like, they've got different teams like with, Virginia's for Lovers, type, the tourism and also their economic development folks, because they may be able to help as well with the planning commission that's helping us there with some other things that we may not think about. It's just a way to kind of engage them that we're here. You know, so it may, the invitation may could come from the, you know, what I mean, the guys that are helping us, just to kind of engage folks at the state level that. Because unfortunately that it's not, I mean, we're not getting leverage with the county doing that for us, which they should be.
Yeah.
And so we may have to do it well.
I'll bring that up to the folks at the Thomas Jefferson Planning District. And if you have more specific, one, shoot me an email or contact me about it and all. But yeah, I think that mineral needs to come out of its shell and start trying to sell itself to the outside world. Kind of the, I think that's our council's change maybe. Our whole council and commissions change towards the direction of wanting to see things grow here in the town. However, to make it something that will encourage and entice people to want to move here or to put businesses here, visit here when at the lake or whatever brings them to the school activities and things.
Right, and so with like the whole phenomenon with Amazon, there are different things that. Like projects like that are looking for town to do in order to support that, and so they will. That's usually in some of the verbiage when they're back and forward trying to sell Virginia as a place to do business, and so we might be able to find out exactly what they're looking for the community to do in order to support that project.
Yeah, I believe we need to do our own exploring and outreach. And we need to take it to a higher level than what I was thinking that would be a first step. A first step I was thinking is we need to engage more with the schools. We don't have much interaction with them, and they're our next door neighbor. They're a mile from our limits. We should be very much engaging them, I think. And with the county, you know, they're there and we're their constituents just as much as the citizens here are our constituents. So we need to engage with them and get as much from them. Work, seek out the economic development people there to take us seriously and introduce us in their contacts. But that doesn't necessarily get you as far as you'd like to. And share what you're saying. Plenty of people at the state that we ought to be contacting as well. I might have created a committee. You might be a good person for it. Yeah, there's those involved.
I'm on your committee.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not meaning to cut anything off, but if we're ready, I'll move on to the next item. Next item, Miller's Market conditional use permit. We've finished that. We had a public hearing and we made a recommendation to the town. So the only reason I put it back on the agenda is one, that they haven't acted upon it yet. They were going to schedule a public hearing for January, something went wrong on that, whatever. So that didn't happen, so it'll be in the February meeting. But I also, you know, that we developed it here in November from a document that, as the mayor presented, that he had met with the applicant. And we reviewed that and we made changes to 3 or 4 of the different items that were on that conditional use permit. There were comments made at the meeting where this came up about to council about things in some ways being a little vague and all. And as I look at it, Chris mentioned that tonight, about, you know, you need to use how you need to, require things if you wanna control them. If you don't and you use more vague terms, then it might be hard to enforce or unenforceable if you haven't specified, you know, what the expectation for the person to do is. So, you know, again, we're not gonna act anymore, and it's not our place, I think, to revisit it again. That wouldn't be procedurally fair. But I hope that that is looked at a little more, because when I look back to it and y'all look back to it, there are some cases here where you see in lighting, number 3, as much as possible, and the term 4 is good. That says shall. Number 5, well on the property, an applicant shall consult with the BDA county building official concerning proper safe well closing. What does that mean? You shall consult with them, but you know, we were not in a place to be able to specify anything specific. So just consulting may be all that could be enforced. That doesn't necessarily cover as well as we probably should if we look at things in the future. The number 6, I remember you brought up that, Mr. Williams, the entire parking lot should be resurfaced, parking spaces sized and required, but it says should be. Probably should have been shall be, if that's what we wanted to make as an enforceable thing. Hopefully it will still be. I mean, the applicant signed it, so he's saying that he's aware of it and all. And the last one says should be as well. So I'm only bringing it in to tell you it hadn't been acted on yet. Council's still doing it. It'll come up in. But it would be good if we had advanced opportunity to review a way that happened to just talk to them conceptually and then leave it up for it to be put together and drafted after meetings. So we want to look at things to say if it's dark sky lighting, anything specifically that you can or detail out what the parameters are so the applicant is sure of what he's got to do, and so the zoning administrator would know what's enforceable and what's not. Any comments? Hopefully I haven't gone too far. Comments? Bail me out a little bit. I'm not, I'm only discussing things that, as we look at things in the future that we ought to.
Certainly alert.
Yeah, that we ought to try to, fashion in such a way that they're pretty, clearer as can be. All right, does anybody else want to say anything? If not, that's it for Miller's Market condition issue. Then number 3 is discussion confirmation of things from the planning district. Again, thankfully, this email from what's the name? Curtis. Yeah, Curtis. So let's look at those. Y'all, we don't have providers here, but we are looking at item G and then 3A and B. Flip back there to where you see January 2nd. Memo review of 2018 comprehensive plan stage code compliance audit. I like some of this. Has everybody already read it or? So again, would we have known that there's a compliance audit that you have to do in order to review and do your 5-year comprehensive plan? Probably not. I wouldn't have known that there was a set of things to look at. They're telling us here that under the executive summary, the planning district finds that due to the recent changes to the Virginia State Code, the town of Maples 2018 comp plan would not comply with regulations. Specifically, the comp plan does not address strategies for providing broadband infrastructure, strategies for creating affordable housing, strategies for proposing manufactured housing.
Are you looking? Just where you're looking,
Here's the memo, it's that,
the one pager.
Yep, the one page memo at the back.
Well, it was added to the agenda, so it's not necessarily in your.
it's in, there's.
It's here,
So you
but
got,
it wasn't added, it wasn't yet. You guys should have them in your binders. You should, but yeah,
The one page. Which
I have both of those.
started by discussing
okay,
their compliance on.
I think. This is in the very back, so maybe it's not very back.
So look, this is it. And then this is.
So we don't have a copy of it.
You do, up there. Yeah.
Read everything for a
One of those,
base.
One page and then the stapled packet. So these are all added to the.
Yes. But exactly what he's saying. Or.
You said it's a
summary.
Yeah, one page is the population growth projection. The comprehensive plan is 4 or 5 pages. Or, actually, things.
Thanks, sorry.
yeah,
No. Yes, exactly. Overview of the existing plan, town's current comprehensive plan was adopted 2018, as we know, Virginia code has been amended and many changes have gone into effect. The new comprehensive plan must incorporate a handful of new considerations. Strategies for providing, I already say that, providing broadband and structure strategies for affordable housing and manufactured housing. Then he goes on to point out some of the things that we had in our existing plan. Plan outlines a vision of the town and 6 goals as part of that. Objectives, calming traffic, planning provides, the plan provides discussion of town's finances, but limited discussion of other existing conditions. All right, the bottom of the page, recommendations. Based on review of the current comprehensive plan, staff have identified several opportunities for improvement. To update the demographic information with greater detail to contextualize the community in its past, present, and future. To incorporate more concrete recommendations for actualizing the elements of the plan where applicable. Third, consider emerging priority issues such as resiliency, equity, and electric vehicle charging infrastructure. I think that came up in our discussion of those 29 items that. But. We probably have, or they'll be providing us more things that will be telling us that we need to address.
and that project, that's Miller's.
Yes, exactly. These opportunities, creating the ability to move to that. Embark on a more systematic evaluation of the existing conditions of the town as required by the code. The comprehensive plan is adopted or amended. Only after careful comprehensive studies of existing conditions, trends of growth, and probable future requirements. Finally, proactively plan to accommodate growth in areas that are most well suited to handle the need for development. So again, that gets into where do you see the growth happening in the town? Best suited places that you want to see it happen. Going on to the next page. Interestingly enough, the thing that jumped out at me first was their population findings from the census. So Weldon Cooper is a center with UVA that does work and throughout the whole 10-year period ongoing. The census provides some more information, but they break things down even further than what you find in the census. But U.S. Census estimates in that first graph, it says for Louisa County, for 2022 is 39,725, 2030, they project 40,436, 46,722, and 2050, 52,706, which somewhere here I saw that's a 30%, 32.7% increase. But the town, they showed a figure. The town of Mineral grew at the same rate as Louisa County's forecast. Town would grow from 496 in 2022 to 658 in 2050.
Well, the county has already grown faster than their projections.
Yeah.
Because the current population of the county is over 40,000 already.
There was somewhere else where I saw it's here, pardon me. Totally digesting what was here. When he first sent me, I was looking at a figure, it said that he has 407. And he had 467.
496 as of July 1st, 2022. It's on the very first page of that second memo. That's dated January 22nd.
Mhm.
The one that's stapled together,
Oh, yeah.
the top page of that.
Where, so what I was surprised at, yes. Just for the sake of, I think I want to talk about population, if you can flip to that second one, we'll discuss that in the wrong process, because the population that census showed was 2010 was 467. That's what we had for the last 10 years been working with. And 2020, during the height of the pandemic and all, the figure that they come up with and report was 468, one person growth. And 2021, they say 484, and 2022, 496. I don't know how they made those projections to go up like that, but I foresee, and what I want to tell them at Thomas Jefferson Planning District is that suddenly in the last 2 years, a lot of interest has been shown down in Mineral, and a lot of growth is about to happen. And the condo things that were approved a year ago, they haven't even started on yet, but they're coming. The developer here on Richmond Avenue has a lot of lots that have been cleared and water and sewer has been put in it, but they haven't started building yet, but they've got like 20 lots that will have 2-story homes on it, mostly 2-story homes anyway, single family homes. And we've got other people that have bought houses and done remodelings of them.
And I believe there's like a fourplex going in on St. Cecilia.
Is it?
13 townhomes,
On St. Cecilia?
Yeah.
9 to the right of us, 4. That's 11 4 to the right.
That's the condo.
Oh, gotcha.
Connected, yeah.
Yep, and I mean, there are others that are going, so suddenly the world has found that Mineral has some property available. And they'd like to develop it here. So that's what drives my intense and desire for us to take an active look at the comprehensive plan so that we can partner with people versus just having necessarily what they're planning to give. So I think that the 500 is just the threshold and we'll be going on. And I think that's good. Personally, I'm speaking for myself. I think that the town has got to grow. If it doesn't grow, it's gotten as small as it can stand to get and still be a town. So if you want to continue to have a town and get benefits that town living can offer, then we need to encourage our tax base to increase some and to encourage good development that makes it attractive. Well,
When driving around, I think the number for 2023 is going to be shocking. I mean, there's so much development and people moving in to Mineral. I think it's going to have 500.
And that age spread too, that like more than 20% of our population are children.
Yeah.
Well over.
yeah,
Well over
that-
20%.
that's, you've
Almost-
already gotten ahead and exactly right.
Almost 30%.
So let's go back to where I was. Again, I don't have a page, but the one where I started talking population at the bottom of these demographics. And it talks about your different ethnicities and so forth, percentages. The guy with the planning district was telling me that this stuff has been put together, they're working on it. And realistically, we all know that the 2020 census was done during the pandemic. They didn't have as good ability to go out door to door and talk with people and track information, so it may not be as good as what it has been before, but they will mesh information with the ongoing efforts of the wealth group per se. And try to keep up with the information. So, the next page shows mineral race and ethnicity chart.
Before you pass by age, if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
I had posted something on Facebook in regards to suggestions, what do you want the building to be? An overwhelming majority wanted a place for the youth to hang out, to be able to hang out. And that was high school and as well as lower.
I think that is quite true. And I think that that's a part of what we need to do is evaluate. And identify what we have and properties we have that could be enhanced to provide for different age groups and all. But yeah, if you go to this page that has the pie chart at the top, down at the bottom, you will see it goes from this page to the next page, and the number 1% age group that this says the town has is 25 to 34 has 150 or 25, basically 26%. The second one is under 5 years old. And under 5 years old is 12%. I don't know where all those kids are. I don't know that I've seen. Where that's a large, large.
Three. I mean, well, I run through all of the side streets, and I mean, there's not a yard I run past that doesn't have, if not kids playing in the yard, kids paraphernalia, swings, balls,
Okay, well, yeah.
scooters abandoned in the driveway.
This is saying the second highest population. Under 5 years old, and then 5 to 9 is 8%.
And there's 3 buses that run in the town too. Like. There's
Elementary school and
yeah, there's one that comes through for I mean, you get stuck behind them all. You hit it right. They stop a lot.
well, it's good to have this information, and yeah, we need to be. I think that if we could have some availability of some rental properties or where teachers that do teach them move in and they end up having kids and all, that we need to have things to make them want to live close by. Rather than having to pass, which also Richmond and they have Science Crossroad. And Louisa has some now too, that they didn't used to, but we haven't kept up with our share. That market. Income levels, it says that the income level is 6,500 median, 78,000 mean. I'd have to look back at the definition that was used for each of those two different.
The mean is the average, and the median is if you go from the high end and the low end and you meet in the middle, that's what you get. But your mean is more like add them all up and divide by that number.
Okay. Parents of households with vehicles, it seems like the largest group. That the number 1 is people that have 2 vehicles, or 2 vehicles, 1 vehicle, no vehicles. So very small part. That they think vehicles is people that have no transportation, motor vehicle. All right, that's it for that. Again, it's preliminary stuff. They got a lot more to do, but we say that they can do after. Final thing we've already looked at though was the population growth projections. 467 was 2010, 468, 2020, we grew by whopping 1. Then they say we're gonna mushroom our balls out each year thereafterwards. I would like to help see that happen. And That's pretty much it as to what we had tonight. I did put in there the copy of what we approved at the last meeting, and there are only some items that we were passing on for them to consider. Y'all have anything further to comment on those, or are there types of things that weren't included? Pass them on for a thought to submit. Nope. So what do we want to do for the rest of the night? That's it. I mean, I was having a 1 hour meeting is pretty good. When we accomplish it,
Yeah.
I don't see that there's to jump into anything else at this point in time. And I will advise you all what I find out when I meet as a Zoom call in February, and what to expect from the next meeting after. Do y'all have any expression of any flexibility of, right now we have 1 monthly meeting. We want to get this stuff done, and we want to get it all done by June 30th. If there was a necessity for any other meetings, I'm not going to ask you for your dates right now, but would y'all entertain there being another thrown in meeting or work session or anything if it seems to be necessary? So y'all entertain that if necessary?
With given enough notice,
Sure.
things are gonna,
Okay.
things are gonna get wild sometime in March. So.
Yeah.
All these kids want to play sports.
We're gonna be all soccer.
We're doing soccer too.
We said, well, let's call together.
Come on.
Well, we'll see if we can, just stick to the schedule that we have here. But like I say, I think that the long overdue process, that if we can get this thing put together, then the town will be better off for it. And Curtis told me too that there's so many things we're supposed to be doing, like the capital improvements plan and the zoning code being looked at. He said, you don't want to start that until you get your comp plan done, because that needs to be the overriding guide for the things. So, you got enough on your table, deal with that, get the comp plan done, and then address the other things so that they conform and support. Makes sense, I think, too. Okay, Gary?
Next meeting is what? 22nd of
Thursday, so.
That would be the
22nd.
4th, yeah.
February comes in the 1st, which is a Thursday, so it's gonna be the 22nd. I do know that March might be a problem for me on that Thursday. Y'all might want to go ahead, but really my wife had already scheduled us to be out with the travel trailer that week, at least Tuesday through Saturday. So I probably won't be here then. But
Is that the 22nd?
that's of March,
The
It'll be the
28th.
28th.
The 22nd of February is the next one.
28th of March would be the fourth Thursday.
My mother will be 99 on that day.
I'll be thinking, remind me.
Is she here?
Yeah, she's not, she's.
So again, I'm gonna be asking you all if we could change that date, or if not, then y'all go ahead and do it. I'll pray for you.
I could do other Thursdays in March, but I can't do the 21st. So if we want to move it up to the 14th, but I don't really feel it's not that.
We won't.
We'll figure it out in February.
Site.
Yeah.
And we'll just wait, let find out what their schedule is, what they need to get done. All right, I've entertained a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
It was a motion and the ball was a second, correct? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed?
What do we do for our birthday?
Third.